How can you tell when it's time to stop drinking? How do you know when your drinking has definitely crossed a line and clearly gone too far and it is absolutely time for you to do something about it? Well, when I was struggling with my drinking, I spent years trying to answer those questions because I just wanted that certainty. We love it, don't we? And I had expected there to be one really clear sign that yes, enough was enough. And then if that sign just happened, then I know exactly what to do and I'd feel confident in my decision. Unfortunately, if you are a grey area drinker like I was, that big fat sign does not come along and smack you in the face. Especially if you are actually secretly more interested in finding evidence that things are totally fine and nothing needs to change. And I got to admit, that was me too. So look, I know it's a tricky spot to be in when you are feeling deep down that something needs to change, but there is this other part of you that also really, really, really wants to just bury your head in the sand. I've been coaching women to quit drinking alcohol for a long time now, for 9 years. And I think actually there are some signs that every single person I've worked with would agree on and could identify with. And I just thought maybe it'd be helpful for you if I shared them here. Because I know what it's like when you are sort of just looking for something that is going to confirm or dismiss your own suspicions. Obviously, I could give you a list of signs as long as my arm, but I'm really going to focus on just the three main ones that I see coming up again and again and again. The subtle-ish signs that really point to the fact that you should consider stopping drinking, or at the very least, take a decent break from booze so you can put some space between you and your last drink. Okay. So let's talk about those three signs. Here's the first one. You keep crossing lines that you've set for yourself. So here I'm thinking about those boundaries that you've put in place around your drinking that feel right or normal to you. And for quite some time, you never crossed that line. So something like, maybe you never drink from Monday to Wednesday, or maybe you never have more than one bottle of wine to yourself. Or maybe you never start drinking before 6 p.m. Or you never drink alone. Like, what is that thing for you? It tends to be some kind of rule that you've stuck to for ages. And then suddenly, you notice you're not sticking to it. So my example of that would be this. I used to have this job where I worked 12-hour shifts, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I would normally do 3 of those shifts back to back. And if you've ever done shift work like that, you will know that in the 12 hours you have off between work, by the time you've got home, you've barely got time to do anything apart from sleep, eat, and shower. So there really wasn't time to be drinking. And that was my non-negotiable rule for ages. I didn't drink then. But then eventually I noticed that actually I'd started breaking that rule. It was like I didn't care. And it was totally stupid because then I was going to work for this long 12-hour shift feeling tired and pretty rough. So that was just like a little alarm bell telling me that I'd started to cross this non-negotiable line. And it might not sound like that big of a deal to you or anyone else, but it was to me. Here's the second subtle-ish sign that your drinking probably needs to change. If you are spending a lot of time worrying about your drinking, that's a sign. If you're thinking about it a lot, if you are turning it over in your mind, if you are Googling stuff all the time, if you're buying books on Amazon, you don't actually read, you're taking quizzes about your drinking, hoping for a different result. It's just on your mind so much. If this is you, the main thing I want to say is just notice that. And trust yourself. You know yourself. You are the expert in your own life. If something is persistently worrying you, if something feels like a problem, it probably is a problem. And sometimes we just forget that. Like, we just forget that actually, if something is causing us a lot of worry, then that alone is reason enough to go, hey, this is probably an issue. It sounds so obvious, doesn't it? But sometimes I miss the obvious stuff, so I like to point it out. Here's the third and final subtle sign, or subtle-ish. And it's this. If you're hiding your drinking, and it might just be a few gulps that you have when no one else is looking, so you can get that little bit extra. Or it might be whole glasses that you're having, or bottles that you have on the go quietly in the background. Those empties that you have to get rid of discreetly. Those drinks that are maybe poured into mugs or downed quickly before your partner gets home. Or if you live alone and you're not having to hide anything, maybe actually you do still leave events early sometimes so you can go home and drink the way you want to, properly, unwatched. If you are hiding your drinking in any way at all, that is really important information because it shows that there is a tension there around what you view as okay and acceptable and where your drinking is now. So, those were the 3 subtle-ish signs that you want to be aware of. Crossing lines that were once non-negotiable. Are you worrying about your drinking a lot? And are you hiding it? If you recognize yourself in any of these 3 things, then what have you got to lose by experimenting with an alcohol-free lifestyle for a bit? There is so much that you could learn from doing that. And I really, really want to help you make that happen. So I've got a very easy next step for you to take today. Come and join my free Take a Break from Booze Masterclass. I'm going to show you how to stop drinking in a way that actually feels really good, feels fun. Yes, that is possible. Feels empowering and enjoyable. Because if you can do that, it's going to shift all of this. So I will put the details for the masterclass below. It is going to be the perfect way to just take back control as we head towards the middle of 2025. I hope to see you there.